I'm Molly, author of this next saga with book 1 currently available, and I'm working on book 2. Yesterday was World Storytelling Day, and I thought that was the perfect excuse to read to you from chapter 1. Because in that chapter, Vic, our protagonist, is attending the Storyteller's Fire, which is a monthly gathering of all the villagers around a giant fire, and the storyteller recounts their history, tells legends, and gives lessons for the future. You find out a bit later that while every village has a storyteller, not every village has a storyteller's fire, but Vic is very fortunate to grow up in a village where that tradition is still strong and vital to his community. Since it's World Storytelling Day, I thought I could step into the shoes of the storyteller and tell you the tale he is telling Vic and the other villagers. There are segments in between. I wish I could visually do it, but the fire comes to life and creates creatures and dragons and such to give you visual aids while he's telling the story. One of the legendary heroes shows up, crashes the party. So I'm going to skip those parts and just tell you the story, the legend, the history. Being that it's World Storytelling Day, I want to take the place of the storyteller. But if you want to hear the rest of the scene, definitely check out your own copy of Origins. So let's get started. You stand on Lilygrave, sacred island created by the spirits. For unknown reasons, they began to form our world. They twisted rivers out of water droplets. The clouds they formed out of fluff. The mountains they pulled from the sky. The seeds they scattered and shaped into plants. Both suns they blasted into the sky. The moon they hung from the stars. And then came the dragons. By great magic they awoke from the rock and burst into the sky, the great sky dragons. Wandering through lush forests, the slender land dragons. Dusted with snow, the furred dragons. They soared with the wind, flying on the breath of the spirits themselves. The dragons ruled the sky, the elves ruled the land. They were the second race to appear, having been created from pure light. And because magic courses through elf blood, the spirits entrusted their own language, Kuchel's, to the elves. So they brought words into our world, names such as the Avra Woods that we still use today. Then a new race emerged, the dwarfs, each clan named for the color of their beards. Back to the rock they went, mining the mountains for precious gems. Time passed. Animals came into being. Deer flocking the forest. Antelope bounding across the plains. Wild goats leaping across the mountains. Birds of the air soaring with dragons. Ducks gliding across the lakes. Wolves stalking the forests. Wild dogs prowling the plains. Lions padding along Mount de Rouge. Our world was brimming with life. Now was the time. Man. The spirits drawn to water created man with water in their blood. Rafeo Namas, our ancestors. The spirits drawn to earth created man with earth in their blood. Zukav Namas, our cousins. The two lived together on Eoseld, far out to sea. But in time, our ancestors began to separate, obsessed with differentiating themselves. Eoseld became too small of an island. Seeking a new home, our cousins landed on Lilygrave first. The elves welcomed them as allies and entrusted them with sacred tasks. Hence their homes, Heftka and Belf, nestled among the woods of the north and the mountain's shadow to the south. From an unknown origin emerged the Weevils, bald and blue-skinned. In their beginning they roamed as nomads before building their terrifying fortress, forbidden and as dark as night. Within they hide until their bloodthirsty terror drives them out. Now came our ancestors, the Rafeo Namas. Upon finally realizing the Zukav Namas had vanished from Eoseld, our ancestors followed. The elves accepted them. Our cousins grew wary. Our cousins' fears came true. Greedy and cruel like before, man plundered for riches and power once again, now on Lilygrave soil instead of Eoseld. After tiring of war amongst themselves, they turned on the dragons. Thus began the 200-year Dragon Wars. Blood nourished the soil. Elfin dragon masters tried to bring peace, but man and dragon continued to kill, stealing gold from each other. Desperate, the elves made a compromise. They ended the dragon wars with the promise of men becoming dragon masters. Man regretted his choices, and the dragons cooled their tempers. Peace returned. 1,000 years passed, then a new chaos began. Instead of dragons, our ancestors had a new enemy in mind, the elves. Man wanted the elfin horses, the elfin riches, the elfin kingdom. So the elves vanished. To this day, their location is unknown. But after the Mad King's spiral, our ancestors recognized how vital the elves are to Lilygrave. So, for centuries, our greatest Nates have vowed to seek them out. When Mano defeats the Dark One, then he shall seek out the elves and make peace with them. The dwarves, also vanished, shall return, and the dragons will once again rule the sky. For the spirits have foretold that a Nate will bring back peace to the land and reunite the races. Until then, Dugar, like each and every village, is under the care and protection of our individual governor, one of 6 Tines. Together the 6 are all descended from those who overthrew the Mad King. One's opinion of them differs from their neighbors. But I shall say, our great Lilygrave is headed for ruin. For until a Nate defeats him, the Dark One is the curse that haunts the Viper Plains. He ensures we are a world torn apart by differences. We're like a tapestry, torn and frayed by war and greed. Until then, we spend our time listening to the stories of old, told by the village storytellers, recited and memorized from books of old, stories of life as it used to be. And there you are. That sets the stage for where we are in the Lilygrave's history. Someday I would like to explore the past, especially the Mad King's spiral. It's so fascinating. But this book starts with Vic, and he goes to rescue Snook, and they form an incredible bond that changes their lives drastically, but I can't really tell you anything because, spoilers. But if any of that intrigued you, it would mean the world to me if you would grab your own copy of Origins and read the rest of their story. But whether you do or not, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Bye!